The clip you just saw comes from a channel called The Nick56, a Minecraft beta channel that started off posting seemingly innocent Let's Play videos from 2011, but over time has turned into one of the creepiest and most sinister Minecraft mysteries on the internet. But to understand the story, we have to start at video 1, trying the new Minecraft update, Beta 1.5. This video is normal. As the title states, it's just a Let's Play video from Minecraft Beta 1.5. Our protagonist, who I'll call Nick, gathers various resources and builds a charming beta house for himself. The anomaly in this video comes 5 minutes and 10 seconds in. Nick is looking out onto the ice and he suddenly freezes. The footage isn't frozen, as evidenced by the movement of the water textures. It's just that Nick has suddenly become fixated on this spot. The video then resumes like nothing ever happened, but we get a weird note from Nick in the description.
Sorry about the pause in the middle. The batteries in my mouse died.
This seemingly explains the anomaly, but remember this spot on the ice, as it's going to become very significant in the later videos. Though the strangest and most cryptic part of this video is the comments section. Nick's YouTube account left 2 comments on the video, console.//manifest and console.//logout. Even in isolation, these 2 comments are extremely odd, but they become far darker and more sinister when put in context with the other videos. Case in point, video number 2, making progress. We return to Nick in the dark. His house is expanded and we get a little tour of the land. Right away though, we catch a glimpse of something extremely strange. Did you notice it? Black textureless blocks on the ice. Recall that this is the exact spot on the ice that Nick's mouse died in the last video. Is it a coincidence? Almost definitely not. But Nick doesn't seem to notice the black blocks in this video, as he pays them no attention. Coincidentally, while he looks out at the ice, the noises of the water below him go crazy for almost 20 seconds. Is this intentional? There's no way to tell. But Nick doesn't seem to care about the black blocks in this video, as he pays them no attention besides a glance. Nick continues playing as normal, but this video has one more oddity before it ends. At 1 minute and 35 seconds, this happens. It may seem like nothing happened, and this is because the detail itself is very inconspicuous. Nick gets the benchmarking advancement. This isn't anything weird in isolation, but in context it's very strange, as advancements are meant to be rewarded the first time you do the task, and Nick has definitely crafted before. I mean, he did it in the last video. Yet in this video his crafting table is completely gone, and despite having this furnished house, the game says he hasn't crafted yet. So what's going on here? Nick also mentions this in the description. He's just as confused as we are. So while there aren't any jump scares, the small bulge of black blocks and the strange benchmarking interaction are definitely starting to make these videos eerie. And at long last, the piece starts crashing down and the horror ensues. This is video 3, Burgeon. From the first frame, we already get a ton of new information. This is Nick's desktop, and if it wasn't obvious from the wallpaper and Minecraft version, the date and time in the bottom right confirm that this is set in 2011. Putting this video in context, given that Nick called the first beta update new, we can assume that the first video takes place when the update first released, April 19th, 2011. Thus, the second video we just watched would be taking place at least a day later, as beta 1.5 was released April 20th, 2011, 4 days before what we're watching in Burgeon. And if you don't know what that means, by the way, I didn't either, so here's the definition: to grow rapidly. If you haven't yet connected the dots, something in the last video has absolutely grown rapidly. In the first few seconds of game footage, we get some strange details. 23 seconds in, the audio just cuts for some reason. Nick's door is also gone. Could be a remodeling choice, but it's just odd. But the creepiest part of the video is definitely here. Nick gets to his house, he takes a look out the window, and suddenly the few black blocks from before have turned into a sprawling mass outside on the ice. Something is horribly wrong with Nick's world. Nick goes out onto the ice to investigate, and we get this disturbing scene. static plays across the screen and the video abruptly ends, but not before we get a glimpse of a strange string of text in the top right and the word hours in the bottom right. This string of text is a YouTube video link that leads to an unlisted video just titled Hours. And if you thought this last video was disturbing, just watch this one. Right off the bat, this video is completely unlike anything I've ever seen. If we're even still watching Nick, he has been warped into some other dimension completely consumed by black blocks, surrounded by trees with very low-hanging leaves. The Minecraft version in the top left is unknown, and we catch a glimpse of a name tag, Hours, in the far corner. When our protagonist turns his head, there also seems to be a black figure flying, watching over the entire dimension. As the footage continues, there's a flash as the Hours character seemingly teleports behind us. Nick turns to him, but he doesn't react. The audio of the dimension is extremely creepy, but if you pay close attention, amidst the horrifying ambience, you can pick out some distinct buzzes. This is Morse code, and throwing the audio into a spectrogram, we can clearly see the dots and dashes. The encoded message is simply hours, over and over and over and over for the entire video. But the whole dimension gets even creepier when the chat messages start coming in. They come from someone called Vil1. Are they the figure we saw in the sky? Maybe, but their nature isn't nearly as interesting as the messages they send.
Impossible. Why you? It took the others, but not you. Why? Forget this all. It must not know of this. A second chance.
This poses even more questions than answers. Who is it? Who are the others? A second chance at what? Before the end of the video, we can spot many more Hours players in the distance. The whole dimension is crawling with them. The video cuts to static again and ends, and we can see the words failure and return in the top right. The dialogue in this video reveals a ton about the lore of this series. We can begin to speculate that Nick, assuming the videos are sequential after the events of Burgeon, must have been transported here, and maybe he isn't the first. It may be that many players have been transported here by it before they were turned into the Hours players. Nick was somehow an exception, hence why Vil1 was surprised, but who is Vil1? Is he a player that was immune to its power? It's too early to tell for sure. Something else that's strange is Nick's very calm demeanor throughout the whole video. Yes, he interacts with the Hours people trying to figure out what they do, but the entire video he's just calmly wandering through the land as if it was all normal. Personally, if this happened to me, I would freak out and just look around without really exploring, but Nick seems to be very unbothered with the situation and content with just calmly moving forward. There's also another comment by Nick's account, console.// still observing, still noting. Another cryptic message from this quote-unquote console. What does it mean? Is it even Nick leaving these comments for us? What is this place? Who is Vil1 and who is it? There are far too many questions to answer right now, so to get some answers and solve this mystery, we have to watch video 5, Watching. This video's title is already strange. The / at the end of Watching is reminiscent of the console messages we've seen. While not as outlandish as the Hours video, this video is arguably even more important for revealing what on earth is going on here. From the date on Nick's computer, we can see this video takes place 5 days after Burgeon. It begins with Nick communicating to us, the viewers, asking if anyone has seen this error message from Mojang. You'll see it in a few seconds. According to Nick, nobody else on the forums has gotten this error. This itself is important information. If Nick can't find any help, it either means that 1, he's the only one targeted by the corruption and by it, or 2, anyone else who was targeted was somehow silenced before they could report the bug. Nick complains to us a bit more that he can't get through Mojang support, but then reveals a crucial piece of information. This glitch has been happening since the crash on the 24th. The events of the Burgeon video did in fact happen on the 24th, but describing them as a crash is extremely strange. This brings into question the legitimacy legitimacy of what we saw in the Hours video. Did Nick really experience all that? If so, why is he only calling it a crash? If not, and his game really just crashed after interacting with the black blocks, what on earth were we watching in Hours? He then finally pulls up the error for us to read in full, and the message is very unnerving.
Access denied. Minecraft was unable to start because there is current action item in your Mojang account preventing you from accessing our services. Action item: suspicion of intrusion with malicious intent. Make a new Mojang account at minecraft.net or type download in the allotted space below and press enter to cleanse your account's history and start fresh. This will re-download Minecraft's latest version and Java runtime launcher. Due to the infraction on your account, we will be watching you closely.
This sounds a bit sinister, even for Mojang. Nick rambles to us for a little longer before finally deciding to cleanse his Minecraft account. We get a brief flashing message from the console.
The cleansing has begun.
Before the window closes and a new folder appears on Nick's desktop. The README confirms that the cleansing was a success, and ominously that Nick is being watched. Nick closes out the text, and right before the launcher pops up, we see static with the message "not for you" in the bottom left corner. But what's even stranger than all of that is the new launcher that greets Nick after the cleansing. Right off the bat, the launcher labels itself as Minecraft Beta 1.503. Nothing really off until you realize this version of Minecraft doesn't exist. In the real Minecraft development timeline, it went 1.501, 1.502, 1.6. Minecraft Beta 1.503 never existed. Nick is playing a fabricated version of Minecraft. This is further supported by all the official Minecraft links being 404'd. The final login message is also very cryptic. It seems eerily personalized. This whole launcher seems very hastily thrown together, but if so, then by who and for what? I'm getting a hunch it isn't from Mojang. But to finally get some answers on what on earth is going on here, we need to watch video 6, B 1.503, jar 00. It's worth noting that this isn't actually the original title of the video. From an old video by Indomitable Sloth discussing the ARG, we can see the original title of the video was B 1.503, jar 33%. At the time, Nick also had 33 subscribers, so if we get him to 100 subscribers, will the jar be 100% complete? Well, I don't know about that, but what I do know is that if you are enjoying the video, then subscribing would be extremely appreciated. A lot of people watching these videos aren't subscribed, so if you could consider subscribing, it would truly help out a ton, and tell me you want to see more of these types of videos. But thank you so much. The video begins with Nick in windowed mode before it transitions with some static into the gameplay. This version of Minecraft is off-putting to say the least. Ignoring the double beta in the top left, after Nick glances around, he opens a chest in front of him. The title of the chest reads Gift, and inside is a written book. The book is titled Cave Game Tutorial, and the author has just been cited as creator of Cave Game. You probably know, but Minecraft was originally called Cave Game when it was in development. But what you might not know is that written books weren't added to Minecraft until a year after this video was filmed, in Minecraft 1.3.1. This feature should not be here. This is verified when Nick tries to left click with the book. He hasn't ever seen this feature and he doesn't know how to interact with it. The book reads as follows.
This is 1.503, a new version of Cave Game. Please have fun and do not deal with matters that do not concern you.
Very ominous, and the second page isn't much better.
New game version that is made with of the over Cave Game versions from the error prone. Signed, the compiler of the current manifestation.
The more you read, the more this book descends into gibberish. You could technically interpret this line as made with some of the other Cave Game versions as if it was some twisted math joke, but the second symbol is lost on me. The author also signs the book the compiler of the current manifestation. There's that word again, manifestation. It doesn't seem like a coincidence that it would appear again, but who is the compiler? Why sign it so ominously? Nick opens his inventory and instantly the anomalies get worse. 3 things that are ridiculously out of place. The shield slot not added till 1.9, the recipe book not in the game till 1.12, and worst of all, the new layered Steve skin, a feature not in the game until 2022. What on earth is going on here? The date on Nick's computer leads us to believe that these videos were recorded in 2011. If that's the case, what's with this onslaught of yet to be added features? As Nick turns around, we catch a glimpse of a black figure on a hill. Is that it? Nick begins cutting down a tree and static, and in the bottom right we can catch a glimpse of some text. Vil1 has left the manifestation, and just a bit later we see the same area and the black figure is gone. That shadow was Vil1, and again another anomaly, another new feature of Minecraft, unlocked crafting recipes. Even Nick is startled by this pop-up, hovering over it as it isn't and shouldn't be something he's ever seen in Minecraft. Then the video just ends. What did we just watch? Did Vil1 leave Nick the error message and now he's really watching him? Is Vil1 the compiler of the manifestation? If so, why did he give Nick the book? And what even is the manifestation? Well, that last one seems actually answerable. It's my hunch that the manifestation refers to fabricated versions of Minecraft. When whoever created this manifestation, they were making this cursed version of Minecraft for Nick to play. Why? Well, we don't know, but from the launchers and jumble of new features, it's clear this was a sloppily thrown together version of Minecraft. This video also has some more information in the description, a message from Nick to us.
This version of the game is very unrefined. I don't feel like it was intentional for the launcher to send me this version. I have issues that I never had on my old world: stuttering, black screens, missing chunks, hell, even things breaking and moving when they aren't supposed to.
Nick is just as perplexed as we are. Interestingly, we don't ever see the other errors he was talking about in the video. That footage either doesn't exist or was for some reason omitted. What's also worth some discussion is the thumbnail of this video. All the other videos so far have had some pretty representative thumbnails, frames that exist in the actual video, but what is this? This is not a frame we see anywhere throughout Nick's video, yet it's an image we've seen before. It's Nick's profile picture. From what I can tell, this seems to be a screenshot of a cave system. You can see the strip mining branches near the bottom, but its significance in the context of this ARG is totally lost on me. What does this thumbnail represent? And back to original questions, why does this version of Minecraft even exist? Well, to finally confirm some of our theories, we need to watch video 7. Generating manifestation B1.503 is probably the only video that gives us more information externally than within the actual video. The title itself is intriguing: Generating Manifestation B1.503. Supposedly, this means it's generating the version of Minecraft we saw Nick playing in the last video, Beta 1.503. Does that mean that it canonically comes first in the timeline? Without dates, we can't know for sure. The video itself is lackluster. An ominous humming plays in the background before the word generating flashes on screen several times. Nothing really remarkable. It then goes black for half a minute before the video ends. The comments on this video give us some more information. One viewer asks Nick,
what happened to them? To the rest of them?
Nick responds,
console.//gone. Error. Exec.
And then again comments,
console.//user. Error.
The original question is weird, and Nick's response does little to clear it up. Console, gone, error, exception. This could be detailing a sequence of events. The others in question might be in reference to the other players who have experienced the bugs we've seen, the players who were eventually corrupted into the Hours players. These players are now gone, an empty set, but there was an error, an exception to the rule: Nick. Nick is the exception to the corruption, the only one not to get converted by it, though I could just be pulling this out of thin air. Nick's second comment doesn't tell us much. Console user error? An error logging in? What is Nick trying to tell us? And wait a second, who even said this was Nick? It seems weird that Nick would communicate to us like this in a cryptic console command format. While it's likely him in the description of the videos, I have a hard time believing he would respond in weird ciphers. So who is uploading these videos to the channel and responding to comments? There's definitely a story here that's beginning to come together, and we just need one more puzzle piece to bring it all together. For that, we have to turn to video 8 B1.503 jar 01. This video, like the previous, also had a different name at one point, jar 99%. Why the change? We might never know. let's just take it at face value. The video takes place in the same messed up version as the other one, with Nick starting off the video leading his dog through the dead of night back home, and 15 seconds in, we catch a glimpse of some null blocks on the leaves of a tree. Despite the text in the top left, this is clearly not beta Minecraft. The textures are totally different, and there are just plenty of features that are completely out of place. Interestingly enough though, the skeletons use the beta bow model, and the old oof hurt noise still plays when Nick takes damage. Yet another version amalgamation. And just as Nick returns home, we get this. A distorted Minecraft screenshot flashes on screen with an ominous text. This confirms some of our earlier suspicions. It, or Vil, or someone has access to Nick's channel and is interfering with these videos, communicating directly to us, the viewer. By extension, why wouldn't they also have the power to reply in the comments? I mean, it's not like Nick would put this text in himself. When we return to the video though, the entire footage is corrupted by RGB scan lines and all the sounds are horribly distorted. Nick tries to craft an iron axe and we briefly see that it apparently does 9 attack damage and has 1020.9 attack speed, clearly a corrupted value. A weird xylophone-esque tune plays as Nick walks around, suspiciously calm. If these corruptions are also present on his end, he clearly isn't showing it. We then catch a glimpse of sweet berries, another really new Minecraft feature, and 2 more looks at the corrupted null blocks before the video ends. This video is odd. Very, very odd. Something worth noting that I briefly touched on is how unbothered Nick is through all of this. From what we can see, the corruption doesn't even look like it's present in Nick's game. At least there's no stress reflected in his behavior. Does he even see everything going wrong? Regardless, whoever made these versions of Minecraft made them hastily and somehow has features that won't be in the main game for essentially a decade. What's more, how did Nick even get his hands on this broken edition of Minecraft in the first place? Initially, it did seem as if he was playing normal Minecraft beta, yet along the way he must have gotten his hands on this corrupted copy. The next video, Generated Manifestation B1.503, is potentially the most important video of them all. It seems to be a sequel for the generating video we saw earlier. The word generated slowly spells itself out on screen while we hear the noise of a computer whirring up in the background. And that's it. It spells out generated, then vanishes. But then the single-handedly most mysterious and important part of the video. The last upload on Nick's channel was this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. This title is in hexadecimal. Translating it to English text, we get Data Leak 01. The background of this video is the weird world we saw in ours, while layered over it is a conversation between Vil1 and it.
Silicus, how much longer can the manifestation be held open?
It could collapse at any moment.
We can't risk having him here. His connections to the outside are minacious.
He sits in a limbo between us and them.
Create a new manifestation for the time being. Keep him distracted.
Understood.
I will need to figure out a more permanent solution to this blip.
This completely both confirms and overhauls some theories we've had about the story so far. We now know the identity of Vil1, Vilicus, or the Latin word for overseer, and he is directly working under it. This means that Vil is likely the figure we saw flying over the world of ours, overseeing that dimension. The manifestation that we hear it talk about are the corrupted versions of Minecraft Nick has been playing. We now know that Vil can create and generate these manifestations, likely through the console, but over time they begin to collapse, as evidenced by the presence of null blocks. This also explains why they seem so hasty. Vil has to immediately generate a new manifestation whenever the current one begins to collapse. We also importantly learn that Nick is a threat to its operation. His connections to us, the viewer, makes him a liability. It's through Nick that we can see through its schemes, so it commands Vil to make another instance to keep Nick in limbo, and Vil does, ending the video with another console command, hinting at yet another corrupted manifestation to come in future videos. So what is the whole story being told here? It's clear that it, whatever he is quietly distributing a corrupted version of Minecraft. How it ended up in Nick's hands is a mystery, but maybe it was marketed as a free version of the game when in reality it was all a facade, a trick to convert more and more players into his minions, or hours. What he wants to do with them is a mystery, though I doubt it could be anything good. A trick Nick fell for, managing to obtain this corrupted version of the game made by it. But as his manifestation collapsed, he was okay. He didn't become ours. He was an exception. Vil immediately notices this, evidently shocked that someone survived the nullification, as evidenced by his messages to Nick. It took all the others, but not him. Yet Vil doesn't turn him in. Instead, he says that it must not know of Nick's immunity. It seems like Vil might just be on our side, its right-hand man, but in reality frustrated with him, wanting to stop his operation for some reason or another, explaining why he gave Nick the gift of the book. He wants to help him. The nullification failed, so Nick is returned to another manifestation, as we can see from the static: failure, return, a second chance. A second chance to expose it to the world. And this gives us an answer to another one of our questions. Maybe it's Vil himself who is uploading these videos onto YouTube. It's clear that he knows how to operate the console, so these commands in the comments might just be him. He is uploading footage of Nick so that the world can see its schemes as they are. Horrifying attempts to convert people into mindless hours players. But in all of this, there's one more mystery. One key that could solve the entire story once and for all, and tell us what its major plan is and how to stop him. And that key is this. This code that appears in the end of the generated video. This singular code is the final puzzle piece in solving the mystery. The description of the generated video has a cipher, which when converted from hex translates to cave game generate, and a message.
Though it is not as it seems. The answer is correct, however it is also incorrect. Perhaps a rearrangement?
And in the comments, another cipher, a Caesar cipher. Shifting all the letters 7 characters over gets us this: reorder.use. All of this combined tells us something crucial about the message in the video. There must be some way we can reorder and use it, some rearrangement that makes this code the key to solving the mystery. I spent tens of hours trying to decode this message, going through every cipher solver online, asking ChatGPT, even coding my own bot to try to unscramble the letters. Yet at the end of the day, I was only able to rearrange the characters to form this. Obviously, all of these are incorrect. I'm nearly positive that this message is a re-scrambling. The characters there are sufficient to spell hours, vil1, console, and https, www, and .com. Granted, there's no colon, but I'm almost sure this message is either a console command or a URL starting with www, a URL to a website that could finally top off this mystery and solve it for good, cracking the case wide open to what it is really doing, but I just can't solve it. Trial and trial and trial again, I just couldn't get it. So I'm turning to the only place I can, the thing it is most afraid of. I'm turning to you, the audience, for help. Even if it's only once, copy the code in the first line of the description, plug it into a random letter scrambler, and generate. Leave your findings in the comments, even if it's just gibberish. There are hundreds of thousands of you watching, so maybe, just maybe, one of you will happen to crack the code. We haven't gotten an update from Nick's channel in months. Either this ARG was abandoned, or the final message is the key to solving it all. We can only finish this mystery together. So join the Discord, get out your cipher cracking tools, and let's solve this mystery and expose it once and for all. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a good one. See you next time.